and 5 flex bags. Okay, so here's our other little hidden secret
I'm so excited
gem
about this.
find that Paul Deasy has brought to us, and we didn't want to preview it too early because I was afraid we wouldn't have the opportunity to talk about it because it's turquoise, and I know so beloved and what you're known for bringing to us of such impeccable quality, and sapphire.
I've never
Not
done,
any ordinary
I told
sapphire.
this to Lynn before the show, I've never done turquoise, any turquoise, let alone American Mind. This is Kingman Turquoise, blue sapphire.
Wow, Paul.
Together.
It's absolutely breathtaking.
And of course the white topaz. But here's what I want you to understand first and foremost. As popular, and if I had to tell you my #1 selling gem for the last 10 years, turquoise.
Sure.
Far and away. Yes, I've done a lot of opal, I've done a lot of garnet, done a lot of peridot, but my #1 seller is turquoise.
And haven't you found too, it's been one of the most sought after now,
yes,
worldwide?
Worldwide.
American gem.
First of all, and turquoise has evolved. If you think of the 70s when it was the big belt buckles, it was the fringed, leather jackets, it was the cowboy boots and all of that. Now it is red carpet. So it deserves to have things like sapphire and diamonds and rubies and emeralds around it. We chose the sapphire because of the blue.
Oh, it's...
But more importantly, these are big pieces of Kingman. Now let me put this into perspective. If you ever saw me mining with Marty and Josh it's called Golden Valley, Arizona, which is just above the town of Kingman. I told you about how when the machine stops and you start digging by hand with a pickaxe. And basically what we do is we say anything like that you have to pick up in the palm of your hand, put it in a bucket. Everything else leave.
Okay.
And the reason they say leave everything else is because they're gonna put that into these big trucks. They drop it into a hopper, and then that goes onto a conveyor belt. And then there are people inside this little trailer in the conveyor belt pulling out the little pieces of turquoise that they see. So there's special lighting. The point is this, the only way you get the big pieces is when you're picking up with your hand. If you're going there to that, and Marty shared with me one time when I was interviewing him, he said, you know that part where we put it in the hopper? That's more than 75% of the turquoise business is turquoise that comes from there. But the problem is, there's only 2 ways you can use that turquoise. It's either gonna be compressed and stabilized, or it's going to be smaller pieces, just smaller little pieces, accent pieces. The only way to get these big pieces, that's why big pieces like this are rare. So this is a 14, I think it's 1410. Let me double check. Yeah, 14 by 10 cushion cut, surrounded by 2/3 of a carat of sapphire. The sapphire comes from Thailand, and then the topaz, which comes from Brazil. But this is just beautifully set. And you know what? If you're gonna own turquoise, I love that it's American turquoise.
It's American turquoise. It's premium. Look at that. Beautiful.
Great
Again,
color.
that robin's egg blue.
Yeah.
That's all I would describe.
And what
that.
we
Very
did this
pretty.
time, we were looking, you'll see a little bit of matrix in here.
Well, that's how you know it's real, too.
Right, but we didn't want something that was a lot of it. We wanted this to be very clean because of the sapphire and the topaz that we surrounded with.
It's, to take turquoise of this quality, to me, I want it set in that premium fine jewelry look.
And remember, more expensive, more difficult to mine in the USA than anywhere else in the world. And even though people are surprised to learn, if I said to you, who produces the most turquoise in the world, most people say, oh, the United States. Well, no, we might have the most sought after, we might have the best, but about 80% of the turquoise in the world is mined in China.
And a lot of times you don't know.
You know what they want to buy?
American.
Kingman.
Yeah.
I call Kingman, and I love, Marty is the 3rd generation of Kolbaz mining that, and Josh is now the 4th generation.
Yeah.
I love them both. They're great guys. I consider Kingman the most important, relevant, active turquoise mine in the world, not just in the United States. It's producing more material. And they were in danger of losing that lease because the copper mine on which this the turquoise comes from changed ownership about 1.5 years ago. And although the Kolbaz had a perpetual contract with the old company, that's all bets are off when the new company comes in.
Thank goodness.
But they've been able to retain that. So I don't know, you never know.
So if that's the case, then what would be? There's very few other turquoise mines.
There are some,
but not like
but not a lot. Not
Kingman,
to the no,
right?
No, not like Kingman.
All right, so they're having the information. There is not many
No.
in the United States. So especially to your point, that are producing this size. This is a 14, do we say 9 by 14?
1410.
1410.
So
beautiful.
And Lynn, for any, and I know sometimes.
Oh, under $200. I'm so fascinated. I'm not even talking about the price.
Well, first
I'm
of
like
all,
listening to stories.
Let me put that price into perspective. Just for a big piece of Kingman that's not a compressed, stabilized Chinese turquoise, that's a great value. But when you add the sapphire to that, and you add the white topaz to that,
65 points.
But I'm going to add something else to that. This is the way turquoise should be worn. And if you have ever been, and probably because of your position, you've been on to like black tie events where, you know, and everybody gets their diamonds out, everybody gets their baubles out, their sequin gowns. You put turquoise in your ears or around your neck, and especially with little black dress, I'm telling you, you stand out, and it looks great on every skin tone.
It's very true. It's a great point. It's so